Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged. That was, it's strange. It's like I'm not overly disappointed by that defeat. It was not a, crunching 4-3 defeat or a 4-0 defeat that I'll just go on and say, oh wow, Pep out. This player should be sold. Remove Ruben Diaz and all that. No, the match is also tame match. It was a match for me which never picked up the tempo. It was a match that literally was crying out for Kevin De Bruyne for a spark, because Spurs are as boring as crap. Spurs are as boring as shit. So they are not going to provide the spark. So it was it was on us to provide that spark. So I really thought that this match lacked some spark. But then the manner that we lost, that is what really disappointed me. Not the overall manner of play, but the manner that we lost. And the connections of this loss to what happened in the Champions League final. How can we not improve on that? How can we not learn from that? We were so much disappointed after the Chelsea defeat. The 3 matches we lost to Chelsea last season. What was the common things from those 3 matches we lost to Chelsea last season and this match? Chelsea were sitting back. They had Havertz, they had Werner, they had Mount, they had Pulisic running at us with pace. And now in this match, Maura, Son, Bergwijn, Lichelso later on running at us with pace. So is it now come to a point that if teams defend against us in a low block and leave 2 or 3 of their attackers up front, even 2 attackers, and tell them to run at our defenders, are we found out in earlier on seasons? The fact was that we would play a low block, and then we would struggle to break low blocks. Maybe David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, even in those seasons. Pep was asked after the 2017 season, what you have got 100 points now, where do you go next? And he told, we really had trouble breaking down that low block, though we got 100 points. We often had to rely on David Silva's brilliance or something. And the same thing in this season also is happening, but relatively differently. We are getting caught in transitions, and it's not a different thing for Pep Guardiola's teams to be found out on transitions. So this issue for me stretches down a lot than just losing to Spurs. This defeat, you never know, might never matter at the end of the season, and it's good that it happened now and not in December. It might be, but then the issues regarding this defeat, the manner in which we lost, the why to which we lost, the why we lost will matter towards deciding whether we'll retain our Champions League crown, we'll retain our Premier League crown, and we'll do a back-to-back or not, because these issues stretch really long. Pep, when he went to Bayern Munich, Pep's Barcelona at the end of his tenure, Real Madrid were beating them. Teams were beating them with transitions. Pep's Bayern Munich, if you remember, semi-final, Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid, and Ronaldo and Benzema. You know how they got it, Bayern Munich in transitions. So that is when Pep really played those inverted wingers and everything. And I think today's match somehow takes us back to that issue. How do we defend against transitions? Spurs had 13 transitions. Yes, we were pressing high, but Spurs were just nicking the ball off, and they were hitting us on transitions. That is going to be really important. Now teams will do the same thing again and again and again and again unless we get out of this rut. So Pep has a really long thinking to do, and today we were creatively not at all good. I know some of the people are commenting and telling me that Pep has picked the wrong team, useless tactics from Pep and all. I know the chemistry of the team was not good because we have to give it to them. No preseason, and it will take a while to gel. You can't expect Jack Grealish to come on and gelling with Raheem Sterling as if he's been playing with him for forever. Yes, he's been with England squad, but both of them. But you can't expect Gundogan and Jack Grealish to come on and just gel together. Today, City's players were a bit confused also. With Jack Grealish's movement, his positioning, it takes time to get used to each other. So that is not the problem. The problem is defensively on transitions. The problem is us having, how many shots did we have on target? Was it 1 or was it 2? I think it was 2 shots we had on target. That is the problem. us giving away 13 transitions, 14 turnover of the balls. That is the problem. Those are the problems we should address. Now let us look at player ratings and all. uh, I think Benjamin Mendy is on to an other uh, and another day of roasting from me. Let me come from the back. Ederson didn't have much to do. He ran in once and got to the ball before Lucas Moura. Apart from that, he had nothing to do. He had absolutely nothing. He could have as well had some extra days off in Brazil, chilling in the beaches and enjoying the sunshine over there. He literally had nothing to do today. One clearance, he made a mess of it, but I thought that he had that was a foul on him. So apart from that, Ederson didn't have much to do. So I would give Ederson a 6. Agree with the rating over there. And now Benjamin Mendy. Let me come to culprit number 1 of this defeat, Benjamin Mendy. Today, Benjamin Mendy had the chance to be the most star for City. He had the chance to be the most creative player. Benjamin Mendy was the player on space. See, when you defend in a low block, you have to make that choice of defending narrow or defending wide. Spurs decided to defend relatively narrow, but they covered Joao Cancelo well, which means that you leave space somewhere even if you defend in a low block, right? Which means that they sacrifice the space on City's left hand side, which is Benjamin Mendy and Raheem Sterling and Jack Grealish as well. Really, Sterling and Grealish were interchanging. So Benjamin Mendy had so much of space to go on, so much of space to go on. The worrying fact for me is Benjamin Mendy is useless defensively. We all know that till now. I don't have to make a live stream to tell that Mendy is useless defensively. The point here is that Mendy was useless offensively as well today. All of his crosses were either hitting a player and going out for corners. City had 10 corners, almost double of what Spurs had. Or else he was looking to make a pass today and he was in two minds, and Spurs would take the ball and go on transitions. Benjamin Mendy himself had given away 5 transitions today, and I might have missed out on 1 or 2. As far as I am counted, Benjamin Mendy had given away 5 transitions. And even while defending from corners also, City's corners also, Benjamin Mendy he looked shaky, defending the transition from City's corners. Lucas Moura almost got through him. Benjamin Mendy today had everything. I think this is the last game for Benjamin Mendy. Before the game, I told that it either could be Benjamin Mendy's last game or he could have a prolonged run in the squad. So I think that it is Benjamin Mendy's last game. Prince is here. Hi, Prince. He says City might have better players, but Spurs had the better team today. I wouldn't agree with you necessarily. Spurs didn't have the better team today. Even if you make a Brentford or a Norwich or any other team defend in a low block, Sheffield United defending in a low block would have beaten City 1-0. So teams defending in low block, you couldn't say that they have a better team. It was the fact that City did not play well. It was not that Spurs had a good team today, a better team today than City. I don't agree with you on that. So because Nuno Espirito Santo. I mean, how hard is it to set up a team to play on the counter? Manchester United defeated PSG by sitting back. That doesn't mean that United had a better team than PSG. It's just that they hit us on the break. It's just that United hit PSG on the break in that case, and even in this match, it was that how did Spurs score that goal? It was a transition from City's corner. That could happen to any team. It could be a bottom team beating City or Liverpool or Chelsea. So I don't say Spurs had a better team. Yes, maybe Spurs played to a better ideology than City. Camdenia is here. Camdenia. He says, no idea what Pep is seeing in Mendy that we aren't. That is true. That is exactly true. No, there's one quality that we all saw as well. Even you agreed, I think in my last stream, that Benjamin Mendy is really good offensively. I was talking to another friend of mine who's a City fan as well. We all agree that Benjamin Mendy is one of the I mean, he's the top two or three crossers in Premier League. I would say even in world football as well. His crossing ability is as good as Robertson's, as good as Trent's as well. But then the fact is, due to all of these injuries, we do not know how it what is affected them, affected him, how much it has affected him. So Mendy is really good offensively. That is what Pep sees, and Pep is an offensive-minded coach. He sees Mendy as a good offensive player. He plays him. I think that's it. But the real problem is Pep needs someone who's reliable to protect those transitions. And as soon as Zinchenko came, you saw that City looked more stable. You saw that De Bruyne, Zinchenko, Grealish triangle that was working fantastic. Grealish went in the space of 5 minutes, last 5 minutes of the game. City almost created 2-3 great chances. So Zinchenko, he's not a good crosser of the ball, but what he provides is he provides that passing rhythm, that the triangles. Benjamin Mendy can't play triangles. What Benjamin Mendy can do is he can slip a winger away, or he can cross the ball. He can do all of that, or he can drive into the box. But that movement, passing, which Zinchenko offers, that I don't think Mendy can offer. So Pep has gone wrong in that aspect. Till now, I think Pep has expected Mendy to be a player who can play that one touch, two touch, passing, fast pacey football. And this match particularly has shown us that Mendy is not capable of that. I think Mendy is out. City should just dip into the market and buy an Alex Grimaldo for 40 million, or even an Anthony Robinson for 10 million or something like that. So let's go with Nathan Ake. Nathan Ake was my man of the match for City. His defensive cover was excellent. He did everything right on that Heung-min Son goal. I think that was, first of all, the mistake. That was a blunder that we conceded from our own corner. We should not allow that transition. I don't remember who the player was who was responsible for that transition. It wasn't Benjamin Mendy. But Nathan Ake did his best. I think he tried to contain Heung-min Son, and Son can go both ways. I think Nathan Ake should have shown Son on the outside and let him cross the ball, because Ruben Diaz was already there and he almost blocked the shot. But Nathan Ake, for some strange reason, showed Son on the inside, and once Son cuts inside, that's it. You're gone, you're out. You might be world's greatest defender, it doesn't matter. So Nathan Ake, apart from that one mistake, he did everything well. Could he have gone for tackle on Son? We never know. But the one blunder was he should not have shown Son on the inside. And then Ruben Diaz, I think, also had a solid game. Today we lost. It was not because of a lack of defensive cover. It was due to those blunders we committed. And Prince is here is telling City could have been 2 up in first half. Chances they would have taken any other day. Was it a mistake not to start with a proper striker? I get you, really. There were a couple of balls flashed across the box actually in the first half that I thought maybe a Harry Kane or a Gabriel Jesus could have put in. But I actually thought that Pep had this dilemma: Gabriel Jesus or Ferran Torres. We City fans are a bit frustrated with Gabriel Jesus because his movement, his pressing, his energy, everything is good. He's not a clinical striker. His finishing is atrocious. He only finishes difficult chances, which means he misses most of the chances. And Ferran Torres is a proper finisher, and Pep, I think, sees him as a backup to Kane and an alternative to Kane if City don't sign Kane. So Ferran Torres is also a striker, but he's still young and he's not such an experienced striker, and his finishing is good, and his movement was not up to the mark. But generally, I think City didn't create as many chances as expected. There was one flash across the box, and apart from that, maybe Mahrez had a shot off target in the first half. We had 2 shots on target in the entire match. And so I think it was not a lack of striker, but it was a lack of creativity, no chemistry at all. City were literally playing it walking pace. It seemed as if we were 2-0 up. It seemed as if the match was won by half time. So we were damn slow. The match was very boring. From a City's perspective and from an overall perspective as well. So I think the mistake was we were not creative enough and we didn't create much chances. You could say a lack of a good striker, but could you point out a gilt-edged chance, a really good chance that we missed? Nothing. Yes, Sterling ran into space. Sterling could have done better. Yes, Benjamin Mendy could have crossed better, but we didn't create any gilt-edged chances, and that is the main reason. Now let's get through the ratings. Ruben Diaz, he made a couple of great blocks. He was playing that one ball continuously, which was over the top. Maybe I think we missed John Stones for his creativity bit, especially in dealing with low blocks. What John Stones does is he comes, he joins for Fernandino, and sometimes he goes into the box, which creates a confusion among the defensive organization. And I think we missed that because from the back, Ruben Diaz was just playing the diagonal to Raheem Sterling or Benjamin Mendy, and it was becoming too much predictable. Countainia says KDB, Mahrez, Sterling, and 100 million Grealish, but lack of creativity. When did KDB come on? And that is the problem. You can look at it as a whole. Grealish is there, KDB is there, but how many times have they played with each other? KDB didn't have a single preseason match, so not forget his coming of an injury. Grealish will take time. He has come from Aston Villa. He does not know what are Gundogan's moments. Grealish will not know where Sterling will move or where will Ferran Torres make a run. There's no that telepathy or something that a number 10 and your striker or attacking players should have. So all of these pieces, you can say that we have all these pieces, but pieces don't win you a league, don't win you a match. A team wins you a match, and all of these pieces have not fit into the puzzle. And I think Sterling is the odd one out in the puzzle. Sterling should go, and Grealish and Foden start, or Grealish starts on the left hand side and left wing, and Gundogan and KDB start. I think it will take some time for Grealish to really adjust, but City, we don't have time. Our next fixture is very tough. We have Norwich, then we have Arsenal, then we have Chelsea coming up. So just imagine us losing two matches of the next three, or dropping points. We will be far off in the race, and we can't afford to do it. So from an outside point of view, you can look at it a lot of creativity, but that's not the point. That's absolute trash. Players need to get adjusted to each other. That's the point. And Joao Cancelo, I thought had was the best of the entire defense. He was solid. He made a block of Hong-Min Son. That was a clear goal. Ederson could not have saved that. Cancelo was good going forward. His crosses into the box were excellent. But then Spurs didn't give him space. Spurs intelligently were targeting Benjamin Mendy's side. Now this will become a repeating pattern. Teams leaving left back Mendy or Zinchenko, whoever it is, on the ball and covering up everyone. That will be really difficult to deal with. Even though you can buy even Messi as well, that will be really difficult to deal with. Now let's come to Jack Grealish. I think Grealish really tried to take the game by the scruff of the neck. People might say he had a bad game, but really he tried to do how many one-on-ones? He drew 3 or 4 fouls at least in the match, 3 or 4 free kicks. He drew 3 or 4 corners. He really tried to take. He completed, I think, 3 or 4 dribbles easily in the match. He tried to take people on one, went into the box. He was ghosting into the box, trying to do everything by himself. I think that is another thing Grealish needs to adjust. Maybe there were a couple of occasions where I felt that Grealish could have been better off playing in a Raheem Sterling, or slipping through a Benjamin Mendy, or flashing the ball across to Mahrez, but he tried to go one-on-one. I think that is another adjustment which Grealish really needs to make in this City side. Fernandino was poor today, according to his normal standards. I think, yes, he did a couple of crunching tackles, but then he offered nothing today. I somehow thought that maybe Pep would replace Fernandino with a Rodri for the creative impetus and everything, but no. Fernandi, I think we needed a central defensive midfielder who was much more creative. Yes, Fernandino was, and he was also not that effective in stopping the turnover on possession, which is really good at. Our legs catching up with Fernandino. We will know what Pep will do in the next matches. But then Rodri is coming in straight away in the next match. Gundogan today, people might say that Gundogan is had a really bad game, but again, I thought Gundogan was the creative spark today. He He went into the box a few times, and then I mean, he almost, I think in the second half, beautiful Cruyff like turn, and he almost shot that just went a little bit wide. I think that the problem with this formation is, like Prince was mentioning in the comments, it might not be. It might not be a lack of striker, but it might be maybe a Pep not going with his false nine. What has happened to the screen now? I think, yeah, we'll just stop the screen. But I think the problem might be not a lack of striker, but the problem might be lack of false nine. Maybe you play Gundogan as a false nine, and maybe play Grealish and De Bruyne in the middle with Sterling or someone on the left hand side. That might be the answer, because Gundogan most of the time he was dropping deep and getting the ball. The all of those times when he was given the license to go front and venture out, he did exceptionally well. He carved out 2-3 chances then. So I think Gundogan also had a good game, because he was doing the dirty part. Come on, Gundogan, people who are blaming Gundogan, they should be out of their minds, because he had the dirty part of going and carrying the ball through, which meant that creatively he couldn't give much. And then the next player is Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez, for me, he sacrificed himself for the team. Riyad Mahrez was a warrior in this match, because Riyad Mahrez, what he did was he maintained the width. He never came in. Not how many times did he come in? Generally, you see Riyad Mahrez not having that discipline to maintain the width and always coming in. Today, Mahrez maintained the width properly, which allowed someone like a Gundogan, someone like a Cancelo to overlap. And also Spurs were playing a low block, so Mahrez had to maintain the width, which means he couldn't get on the ball so much. I really thought that Sterling was the player who should have maintained the width, and Mahrez was the player who should have come inside. But I don't know what Pep had in mind. Maybe he thought Sterling, what will he do maintaining the width? Sterling doesn't have the creativity. Sterling doesn't have the tactical intelligence to maintain the width as a Riyad Mahrez. So Mahrez sacrificed himself for the team. I think Mahrez gets a 7 for me today. Whenever he got that, Mahrez was not in the game. If you players would have seen how many shots did Mahrez attempt. Generally, every match we City fans criticizing Mahrez that he tries to dribble his way past, he tries to take on players. That was really needed today, but he sacrificed himself for the team. Mahrez has finally, adapted to Pep's system. He is now a complete Pep player. But I do want Mahrez to get involved in the play really, and not sacrifice himself like he did today. And on the left, Raheem Sterling was useless. I gave him a 5 today. He and Benjamin Mendy both had space. I keep on repeating, in a low block, the player who has space should really utilize it. Even in the Champions League final, Sterling was the one who got the best chance. And he really put it wide. And here also the same thing. Raheem Sterling went through twice or thrice into the box. He did not know whether to cross the ball or whether to go himself. He played one good ball to Riyad Mahrez, and that's it. Sterling was confused. Sterling was trying to do everything on his own to get the ball and take on 2-3 players when there was a Grealish waiting there, when there was a Benjamin Mendy waiting there, when you could have flashed the box and a Ferran Torres was waiting there. Nothing. I take the ball and don't look up. I just drive into the box. Change, Sterling, change. You are getting so many goals, but the reason for so many of your goals is that City have been feeding you all tap-ins. How many tap-ins has De Bruyne given you, and how many tap-ins you have missed? Once you go to another team, maybe a Real Madrid or somewhere, you will realize the value of how much City were feeding you and how much you're letting us down by missing open goals. I think Sterling and Mendy are out for me in the next match. Now Ferran Torres, I thought it was interesting. There were no chances created for Ferran Torres. It was almost like with Ferran Torres, it was a curious case. It was almost like when United had Lukaku, or United were having Anthony Martial, and there was no creativity. There was only Bruno, and Pogba was injured, and there was no creativity. It somehow seemed like that today. Ferran Torres was making some excellent runs today. He was just changing the angle of his runs here and there, hoping Jack Grealish would find him, or maybe Gundogan would find him, or maybe even Mahrez would find him, because Torres is better in the air than Gabriel Jesus. He's taller, he's better in the air. Torres is a much complete center forward than Gabriel Jesus, though he has a lot to learn. I know this is a big statement, but in terms of finishing, at least he's a much more complete center forward, both aerially and left foot, right foot. So Ferran Torres had a good game. I would give him a 7 rating as well. But we didn't find him. We didn't do enough to find him. At the end, when De Bruyne came, he gets a gilded chance. Maybe a Kane would have taken that. He just misses it by a whisker. He couldn't control the ball. So Torres is that kind of a guy. He finds space. He arrives in the box at the right moment. But for Ferran Torres, it's like you'll have to supply him balls. It might be a difficult ball, but you have to really supply him with balls, and we failed to do that. So on and on, this was Pep Guardiola for me. I'll give a 6 to Pep Guardiola. I mean, his experiment with Benjamin Mendy didn't work. His experiment with Raheem Sterling didn't work. His experiment with going with an out-and-out striker didn't work. Maybe he should have gone with a false 9. You never know. But Pep is a 6. He has a great rethink to do because how do you prevent those transitions? Maybe a Kyle Walker is the missing link here. Maybe a Kyle Walker. You never know. But this could happen in a Champions League final. We don't have Kyle Walker. What do you do then? You just can't keep relying on Kyle Walker, right? Who will stop the transitions from our set piece, from our corner? You need to have someone other than our 2 center backs. Is Mendy capable? No. Is Cancelo capable? I doubt he has the pace. So Kyle Walker is the one who generally is entrusted with stopping those transitions. That's why Kyle Walker, most of the times, he stays back. But who will be given that new role? That is something very interesting to see. And will Pep stick with Ake, or will Pep go for John Stones? That will be another interesting part to see. And also, I'll have an article in my blog as well, which will come up in an hour or so about this match. And there are some really good points, particularly about the way how these transitions have hurt Pep in the past, and what he can do to deal with it, and all of those things. I'll do go through the blog as well. The blog is listed in the link below. I'm very sure that you'll find the article really engrossing. And thank you so much for the comments as well. Some really great comments, some really thoughtful comments. Thank you, Prince and Countany as well for joining the show. I really hope that I come with a much more cheerful show the next time around. But these are some really big aspects, and it's good that we found out this early in the season. In a way, I'm happy for that, rather than us finding out in November like we did last time. So I hope you all enjoyed the show. Please click on the like button, and also the share, and also the subscribe button, and the bell icon, so that you get notifications whenever I come up with new videos. And see you all again. Take care.